Hello everyone. So as promised in the last post, I wanted to make this quick video to show how you can use Clay to build not just your ideal customer profile but also your ideal customer situation and triggers for that. And the reason being is that everyone is able to do ideal customer profile now with all the databases out there like ZoomInfo, Apollo. However, going one layer deeper into the ideal customer triggers can really help you to stand out from your outreach because it displays a high level of buying intent and demand from your prospects, making them much less likely to buy from you and also less likely to mark you as spam or give you negative replies as well. So having these triggers is extremely important in your outreach nowadays, especially in 2024, where the generic outbound message is no longer relevant. It is no longer as effective as just sending out thousands of generic cold emails every day. So I've prepared a clay table for this to show you exactly how you can do that in your outreach by giving a few examples of the intent triggers like leadership changes, funding rounds, and also headcount growth. Okay. Of course, these are just some of the basic triggers. There are much more advanced ones that are customized to your business that might be much more effective. As with everything in marketing, it does require testing and iteration over time as well. But without further ado, new decision makers. So this helps you to find new leadership positions in the companies that you are interested in. And the reason for doing so is that it can give you a good idea of what kind of positions are new, what kind of leadership positions are new at the company, and because they are new, they are more likely to want to implement changes that are beneficial to the company as well. So they are also more open to exploring solutions like yours, okay, to be able to show that they have done a positive change in the company within, say, the first 3 to 6 months. So let me give a basic introduction of this table first. So what I have here is a list of companies that I'm interested in, as well as other details like their description, where they are based, the domains, as well as the LinkedIn URL of these companies. Okay, and then afterwards I have gone ahead and tried to find the contacts at these companies, basically in leadership positions that I am interested in reaching out to. Say if you are some kind of outbound lead gen agency, you would think of reaching out to the CMO or the VP of sales, right? And then from these rows, I have also extracted further details such as the start date, where they first started at these rows. And I also made a filter on this column here, where I included the max amount of months since their start date of the current role, okay, to find new leadership positions. Afterwards, I have also extracted their company domain. So this is just to check whether the companies they are currently working at match the ones that I have now, as well as the job title of these new leadership positions. All right, and the rationale for doing so, it's basically that when new leaderships come to a company, they are much more likely and more receptive and more open to change as well, because they want to sort of prove some kind of positive transformation that I have brought about, say within the next 3 to 6 months. So they are much more likely to want to explore other alternatives, new ways of doing things, and this is where your solution can come in, right? Okay, so now for the next trigger, it would be for latest funding. So again, I have all the basic company information here, and then I have gone a step further and enriched the company with the latest fundraising data. So this is based on their company domain, which I've gotten here. And then from this, I have gotten the columns of the last funding dates, the funding stage, the latest funding amount, as well as the URL of their funding news. Okay, so again, this would show that because they are recently funded, they have much more capacity, much more financial resources to be able to explore your solutions, and it more importantly also shows that they are currently in the stage of growth and scaling, and they are much more open to exploring your solutions as well to help them scale their revenue and their business growth. Okay, and the funding stage in particular is more relevant to B2B SaaS because it gives you a good idea of the revenue mark they are at now, as well as whether they have product market fit, whether they have a customer base already. So it can give you an idea whether these are prospects that you should prioritize and focus on in your pipeline. Okay, and then the last a trigger I have here is headcount growth. So what I've done here is that first of all, I have made a new enrichment to find the company headcount growth. Okay, from the native enrichment in Clay. All of this you can find it from the enrichments in Clay. Okay, and for highest accuracy I use the company LinkedIn URL. For low accuracy I use the company domains, and then from the data that I have gotten from them, okay, it is essentially these three: the last 12 months employee growth percentage, okay, the last 3 months and the last 6 months, and it is all shown here. And then I have gone a step further and made a custom formula called the employee growth score. And how this formula works is that it will assign a score of 3 for the last 3 months if it is a positive figure, a score of 2 if last 6 months is a positive figure, and a score of 1, okay, for the last 12 months. And if it is either 0 or negative, it will get a score of 0 instead for each of these rows. And then what I've done is I've summed up the scores for each of these columns respectively into the employee growth score. Okay, so the higher the score, the more it means that for the past 12 months they have been able to keep hiring people. And again, this displays that they are trying to scale and grow the company, and also the fact that they have the resources and capacity to be able to do so. So once again, it shows a high level of buying intent, as well as a higher likelihood that they are interested in your product or solution. I hope it has been valuable in giving you a clear idea of how using ideal customer triggers on top of the basic filters that you use in databases. It can help you further in your outreach to paint much more relevant messages. Okay, let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I will also be sharing a table for this for you to duplicate into your own Clay workspace as well. And I'm excited to see any results that you have from this table as well. Till next time.